It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Monster Monday, presented, of course, by DraftKings, that we are recording on a Sunday night. Brian is in Boston in a hotel room because he produced the Celtics Game 1 loss against the Bucks. I'm in a hotel room in Connecticut because I am filling in for the great Dan Patrick as the host of the Dan Patrick Show, 9 a.m. to noon Monday morning. So that is why we're doing it on a Sunday night, and we're both doing it from a hotel room. It's a new week, which means we'll have new Spread the Word winner via social media. I'm doing Facebook again. I'm just telling you. Facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL. I want to build that up. I want over 10,000. I just like round numbers. So go to Facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL. I know a lot of you are on it, and just hit like the thumbs up button or whatever it is to like it or follow it or whatever, please. Sponsor confirmation email winner. We got a lot of good ones this week. Simply Safe is a must. Buck Mason, awesome. LinkedIn is the place. ExpressVPN, mandatory. Raycon earbuds, The Bomb, Athletic Greens, healthy. UFOS, life-changing. So hit up some of our sponsors. Send it to me, ross@rosstucker.com. And, of course, nothing quite like the YouTube shout-out that we love, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Subscribe. Make any comment on any video. I see it. You get a cameo-style shout-out, which is very cool. I post it to YouTube. I'll email you the link. You send it to your buddy or your wife, or maybe just for you, and people really, really like that. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
So, no big show tonight, Ross. Let's just get your thoughts on each team's draft, almost like we do on a Power Ranking Tuesday. Now, my question for you, do you want to just give overall thoughts first, or you just want to start with the Arizona Cardinals?
No, start with the Arizona Cardinals, although I did think you were going to hit the Big Show sounder. You did throw me for a little bit of a loop there. That's okay. I teed it up, and I thought you were going to play the sounder, and then you were going to say, well, we don't really have a big show, but that's okay. It's all right. Just so you guys know, we don't really script it. We kind of have a format. We don't go over it ahead of time, which is good, by the way. I'm not a big fan of shows where it's like you rehearse the whole thing ahead of time, because then it's just not as natural when you do it live. So for the Cardinals, we touched on Friday morning. Boy, the Hollywood Brown trade, that feels like a lot to give up for Hollywood Brown, especially where he is on his contract. They picked up his fifth-year option. Seems to me like they're trying to make Kyler Murray happy. I will say, though, I like a lot of their picks. Trey McBride, I did a Colorado State game. I think he's a stud tight end. Cam Thomas, the DN from San Diego State, he is an all-day sucker. Then they got two guys that I think are pretty good edge rushers. Myjai Sanders from Cincinnati, Jesse Luketa from Penn State. Both those guys, it's kind of like Gardeck, the other guy they had, the undersized guy that showed the ability to be able to get some pressure on the quarterback. Similar type of guys there. They took a couple guards. So solid, but questionable with the first round. Although I guess you could argue Hollywood Brown's probably more ready to go this year than whoever they would have taken in the first round.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I really like some of their mid-round picks. I really like Ebiketie from Penn State. I think he's a stud. Troy Anderson from Montana State, just rare physical ability. I liked getting Desmond Ridder in the third round at number 74 overall. And I did a couple of D'Angelo Malone's games at Western Kentucky. Felt like he was there forever, but I think he's got a chance to be a good player. Drake London, though, is the key pick. A lot of people really liked him. I am always leery of guys that I hear so much about all the contested catches they make in college. Is that good? Is that good that often they have someone on them as they're trying to make these contested catches? I'm not so sure.
All right, Baltimore Ravens.
It's just unbelievable how many good players they get seemingly every draft. They let them go in free agency a lot, and they just get comp picks, and they make it work. Kyle Hamilton, Linderbaum, studs. Even after that, Ojabo could have been a first-round pick. Travis Jones could have been a first-round pick. Daniel Falalele, the huge monster from Australia, went to Minnesota. They seemingly always know how to deal with those super big guys. You go back to Zeus Brown, his son. They know what to do with those guys. Even Jordan Stout from Penn State's a stud punter. I like both the tight ends they got in Charlie Kohler, Isaiah Likely. Just a typical Ravens awesome draft.
Next up, it's the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. So they got the punt god, Matt Ariza. How about my boy Kyle Brandt, by the way, making the Terrell Bernard pick? That was hilarious and epic. I knew he would crush that. Elam was Emory Hunt's top-ranked corner, and they moved up in the first round to get him, but they needed a corner, and so I like that. And then James Cook is perfect. They needed a running back who can catch out of the backfield for the short stuff. I thought the Bills nailed their draft.
Ike Ekwonu and the Carolina Panthers.
Well, I love Icky, although I did see where Dr. Chow, Pro Football Doc, had some concerns about his shoulder, which is interesting. Corral at pick 94 was sure as heck worth it. Brandon Smith, Penn State 120, the linebacker, interesting. Really big, really fast, disappointing player in my mind, given his physical ability.
Chicago Bears.
Well, I like their DBs. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, they got younger and better on the back end. So I thought that was a positive. Dominique Robinson's a guy that has a lot. Dominique Robinson and Braxton Jones, the tackle from Southern Utah, the edge from Miami, Ohio, those guys both have a lot of physical ability. They just haven't put it together yet.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals are a pretty good drafting team. Dax Hill, Cam Taylor-Britt. They got a couple DBs early. Then I like Tyson Anderson, the safety from Toledo, who I think he'll end up being able to contribute on special teams right away.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, not so sure about this draft for the Browns. They kept trading down, and they wanted to get more bites at the apple. I will say Alex Wright is a Josh Sweat type of player. The guys I liked, David Bell at 99, Perion Winfrey at 108. I think Winfrey's got a chance to be really good based on what Jim Nagy said about him at the Senior Bowl. And I think Alex Wright is a guy David Bell, super, super productive at Purdue.
The Dallas Cowboys are next.
How about them Cowboys? So we talked about Tyler Smith. He's maybe a guard this year that they bump out to tackle at some point. They took some risks. Sam Williams is a risk off the field. The Ole Miss, the end. Damone Clark, the linebacker from LSU, is a health risk. We'll see. Ferguson, I do think, is a solid tight end. Felt like he was at Wisconsin forever.
Denver Broncos.
Nick Bonito and Greg Dulcich, I think their first couple picks, really their first three picks, I'll put Damari Mathis in there as well. Really like those guys. Damari Mathis is a guy that people really like the corner. Dulcich, some people thought was the best tight end. Remember, they traded Noah Fant. And then Bonito, crazy productive as an edge rusher. Crazy. Like you look at his, pass rush win rate stuff. It's really, really impressive. Almost as impressive as what you can get right now from Simply Safe. You can claim a free indoor security camera plus save 20% on your Simply Safe security system and get your first month free with the interactive monitoring service just by visiting simplysafe.com/Tucker to customize your system and start protecting your home and family today. Again, that is simplysafe.com/Tucker. U.S. News and World Report named Simply Safe the best home security system of 2022, third year in a row. More than 4 million Americans have Simply Safe now. There's never a long-term contract, which is huge, easy to set up, and you guys know how much how I feel about making sure you have a home security system for your family. To me, it's a no-brainer, and I can't even imagine not having one. I guess some people still don't. Can't imagine it. Simplysafe.com/Tucker.
Detroit Lions.
Well, the first round was amazing with Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams. We talked about that Friday morning. Um, you know, I don't know that much about their other guys. Pascal's a D tackle. They love the interior line play, getting a guy like Pascal from Kentucky. Kirby Joseph, I heard some good things as well, but I don't know as much about their other picks as I do other teams, which is why you must listen or watch the College Draft Podcast because Emory Hunt knows everybody.
Next is the Green Bay Packers.
I like the Packers draft. They always have a lot of picks, but if you look, they got 2 Georgia defenders that'll help them this year in the first round. I'm a big fan of Christian Watson. He's got crazy physical ability I think they'll be able to use. But even the rest of their picks, being able to fortify the O-line with Sean Ryan and Zach Tom, getting a receiver like Romeo Doubs from Nevada, who I really like. South Carolina linebacker Kingsley Enagbari is a guy that has some ability. And then Penn State offensive tackle Rasheed Walker. He's got a lot of physical ability. He just never really improved since his redshirt freshman year. I mean, he looked like a guy that might go first or second round back then.
Let's talk a little Houston Texans.
So I didn't love their first round with Stingley and Kenyon Green. They obviously feel like they'll be able to get the most out of Stingley's talent. And Kenyon Green, I thought was a little high. But some of the rest of their picks, Baylor safety Jalen Petre's awesome. John Mechie and Christian Harris, the next 2 Bama kids, I thought were really good. I even like Damian Pierce, the running back from Florida. So I thought overall a good draft from the Texans.
The Indianapolis Colts.
Liked a lot of their guys as well. Alec Pierce, the receiver from Cincinnati. I did a couple of his games. Really, really super talented. So is Jelani Woods, the tight end from Virginia. Bernard Raymond, the tackle from Central Michigan. Some people thought he might go in the first round. I like Nick Cross, the safety from Maryland. And they took an Ivy League guy. You want me to you want me to like you? Take an Ivy League guy. Yale DB Rodney Thomas in the 7th round.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
A lot of linebackers, man. I can't say I really understand it. They paid a ton for Foye Oluokun this offseason. Then 2 of your first 4 picks are Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma. A little bit of a head scratcher for me, but this will ultimately be primarily about Trayvon Walker.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Love their draft. Absolutely love their draft. Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, decent chance they both start. Sky Moore from Western Michigan is a really good player, as is Brian Cook, the safety from Cincinnati, and Leo Chenal, the linebacker from Wisconsin. I watch a decent amount of Wisconsin football. That guy's a badass, total badass. And then to get Darian Kennard where they got him, he's got guard tackle versatility.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders. So,
who didn't have a pick until number 90.
Yeah, not great. I don't know. It's tough to grade somebody when their picks are that late. A lot of people like Neil Farrell. I thought Zamir White was a little high. I think Dylan Parham will help him as an inside O lineman. But yeah, I mean, I guess this draft's really about Devontae Adams.
All right, Chargers.
Like some of their guys, Zion Johnson, we talked about. JT Woods, I think, is a good player, another Baylor safety. Spiller, I thought, was good where they got him. I really like Jamari Sawyer, who can play both guard and tackle. Probably best suited as a guard, but gives them that guard tackle versatility as well.
We were just talking about the Raiders, who didn't have a pick until 90. How about the Rams? Didn't get a pick till 104.
And still got a couple of guys I like. Logan Bruss, the guard from Wisconsin. You know, they've had some success with those Wisconsin guys, the Big Ten guys, like David. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on their starting guard's name. David Edwards. He's like 6'7", probably got to be the tallest guard in the league. And then Kyron Williams, I think from Notre Dame's a good player. I think he'll end up helping them.
The Miami Dolphins.
Didn't have very many picks because of the Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle trades. I think Tyndall has a chance to help them, but it's about it.
Minnesota.
The Minnesota Vikings. So they got a lot of good players, man. Lewis Seen is awesome. Andrew Booth from Clemson has a lot of physical ability. I liked Ed Ingram from LSU. He gets after people. Good first draft there from my Princeton brother.
The New England Patriots.
Well, I kind of like Pierre Strong. Here's who I do like. Houston cornerback Marcus Jones. Helps him as a returner right away, and I think he's a great nickel. I like Pierre Strong. Even Bailey Zappi as a long-term backup, I think, to save money is good. But I'm not a huge guy on Tyquan Thornton, just a speed guy, the receiver from Baylor. I doubt he pans out for them. Nobody is worse at drafting receivers than Bill Belichick. Nobody. And the Cole Strange pick remains very strange.
The New Orleans Saints.
I thought it was a reach. I mean, I thought they gave up too much for Olave. I do like Trevor Penning. And I like that they took a kid from Air Force, Jordan Jackson.
The Giants.
So really like their draft. Thibodeau, Evan Neal. Wan'Dale Robinson's interesting because he seems very similar to Tony. So then it makes you wonder if they're going to trade Tony, see what ends up happening there. They took both guards from North Carolina. That's kind of interesting to take two guys the same position, same school.
The Jets.
Love their draft. I mean, I thought the Jets might have had the best draft out of anybody. I mean, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson. But then even after that, Breece Hall, second round, Jeremy Ruckert, who's a Long Island kid, which I always think is cool. At the end of the third round, Max Mitchell gives them good versatility. I thought it was a great draft.
All right, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, we talked a lot. I mean, to me, you almost have to include A.J. Brown in their draft. So it's A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis. We talked about the first round. Cam Jurgens, the more I see of this guy, videos of him, I mean, he's doing one-on-ones against cattle. He's a cattle rancher. He's got his own beef jerky called Beef Jerky. I love this guy. Nakobe Dean, I mean, it's all about his health. If he's healthy, then that's a great pick. If he's not, then, well, we'll see how long he misses if he's not.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's going to be all about Kenny Pickett. I did like some of their other picks after that, though. I think it's interesting they took two receivers. George Pickens, Calvin Austin. Makes you wonder what they're thinking of Claypool and Deontay Johnson. I think they're thinking that those guys are going to want a lot of money and they don't want to pay them, would be my guess. DeMarvin Leal, I like the idea of him learning from Cam Hayward. And it's so cool that the Steelers drafted Cam Hayward's brother, Connor.
Next, the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I do like getting Tariq Castro Fields a little bit later in the draft. I think he's got a shot. They got Drake Jackson, who's got physical ability and kind of reminds you a little bit of some of the guys they've had, almost like an Arden Key type of player. I was a little surprised they took the LSU running back, number 93 overall, but they seem to know what they're doing when it comes to running backs.
Seattle Seahawks next.
I don't understand it. Don't understand it. I mean, they draft 2 pass blocking offensive tackles and then a running back, Kenneth Walker, who doesn't catch the ball at all. I don't really understand that, or at least hasn't shown he can. I like Kobe Bryant. I think Tariq Woolen was worth it. Mafe was worth it, but they love to run the ball. So it just seems weird to me that a team that loves to run the ball that much would get 2 offensive tackles that are primarily known for pass blocking. It's almost like people that don't get Buck Mason close. Like, what are your favorite go-tos right now? Mine are the clothes I got from Buck Mason. I've told you guys before, I've literally read you the list of the shirts I got. They've got jeans, awesome shirts, jackets. It's like a tailored look. I mean, get the curved hem tee. Literally, GQ calls it the best t-shirt in the game. They're just really comfortable t-shirts that feel great and they look great. Once you try Buck Mason, it'll become your go-to. Head over to buckmason.com/Ross and get a free t-shirt with your first order. That's buckmason.com/Ross to get a free t-shirt with your first order. Why not? By the way, get a free t-shirt. Order something, try it, and get a free t-shirt. buckmason.com/Ross.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So the Bucks' first pick wasn't until 33, Logan Hall, because they traded down. I'm a big Logan Hall guy. I like the versatility of playing outside, playing inside. I thought that was a really good pick. I like Gadecki, the guard they got from Central Michigan. He gets after people, and that's what they like from their guards and their inside guys. So they needed another one, obviously with Ali Marpet retiring and losing Kappa to free agency. So I like getting Gadecki in the mix. Rashad White is a perfect pass catcher out of the backfield. So that's a good fit. And Cade Otton, remember, that was Emory Hunt's number 1 ranked in, Y tight end, like inline blocking tight end on the College Draft podcast, which we're recording Tuesday morning this week, by the way. A lot of shows on Tuesday. We'll do Even Money on Tuesday. We'll do Fantasy Feast on Tuesday. So Tuesday will be a big day on the Ross Tucker Podcast Network.
2 more teams to go. We've got the Titans and the Commanders. What are your thoughts on Tennessee?
I like Tennessee's draft. I do. I think Treylon Burks has a chance to be a really good player. I'm a big fan of Roger McCreary. He just locks up everybody he goes against. I don't care about his length, how long his arms are. He locks everybody up. He's figured it out. That's how long his arms have always been. Petit Freer, the offensive lineman from Ohio State's got a lot of ability. I think where they took Malik Willis makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. He's obviously going to sit this whole year behind Tannehill, see if he improves. Maybe he's ready to go the year after when Tannehill doesn't have guaranteed money anymore. Gives him an option. They like to run the ball. Hassan Haskins gives him another banger that seems to fit what they like to do. So I like the Titans draft. Obviously, losing A.J. Brown is pretty rough, but I like their draft and what they ended up doing.
And last but not least, the Washington Commanders.
So already talked about Jahan Dotson and what I like about him. Thought that was a good pick. I like some of the other picks. Mathis from Alabama. It's unreal. They're going to let Deron Payne go in free agency next year, and Mathis will plug right in and be a similar Alabama run-stuffing D tackle. Brian Robinson gives him another banger of a back. That's probably a little higher than I would have taken Robinson, but there's some people that really liked him. Sam Howe and Cole Turner, both in the 5th round, like both those guys. Cole Turner is a big body, really good ball skills. And Sam Howe, listen, he was projected to be the number 1 pick coming into the year. People had a first-round grade on him coming into the year. So I guess I would just say that's pretty good, right? I mean, first-round grade, they get him in the 5th round. I know he didn't have as good of a year, but they also lost all of his skill guys. So I don't know. I tend to think it's not too bad of a pick by them. I also tend to think shout-outs are amazing. Love when we get new patrons. Patreon.com/RTmedia. Going to do a happy hour soon. Love Pizza Boy Brewing. Sporticulture. HumanHeadNYC.com. SteakhouseSports.com. Go-Bengals.com. Evergreen Economics. If you get a chance, check me out tomorrow, or for a lot of you this morning on the Dan Patrick Show. I think you'll enjoy it. You can watch it on Peacock. It's on Sirius XM 85, or obviously you can check it out on Fox Sports Radio affiliates. While you're at it, I know a lot of you still haven't gotten a Mother's Day gift for your mom or wife. It's time. MyFrontPageStory.com. Greatest Mother's Day gift ever. I guarantee it. And other than that, we're going to have Greg Cosell on Wednesday. I can't wait till the end of the week. Got to have him on Wednesday to get some of his big picture thoughts on the draft. I don't even know what we'll do with Greg. We might even go do a divisional series and spend a couple months going over all of it with all these picks with Greg. I don't know. We'll have to see. Haven't decided yet. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.
A lot of times on the show, I mentioned DraftKings. Here's what you need to know. You got to be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. By the way, if what I was talking about included a deposit bonus, doesn't always, sometimes it does. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough, and deposit bonuses are paid out in site